Today we're going to be going over 15 designer fragrances that I would give a 10 out of 10 rating. So to me, these are perfect through and through. I wouldn't change a single thing about any of these, and they are must-owns in my opinion. So if you're looking to add anything great to your collection, you really want to step up the game, and you're not just wanting to go for super wearable, versatile scents that are going to be pleasing to other people more so than yourself, and you want to really be selfish here and buy some things that you are more likely to really love and think are masterpieces, this type of list is going to be catered for you. So these aren't your typical traditional mass-pleasing style scents. Some will work really well, but that's not what they're intended to be. These are much more artistic through and through. So I will drop links to these down below to discounters for you. Also, I have a mailing list you can sign up to. The fact of the matter is, a couple of these are a little bit tough, hard to find. Each time they do come into stock, though, I send out an email allowing you the opportunity to pick them up for yourself. Okay, let's get things kicked off with ISSEY MIYAKE NUIT NOIR Argent. So this one is one of those ones that's a little bit hard to find, but it does show up from time to time. It's got myrrh, leather, and olibanum in here. Fantastic scent. And there was a point where you could get this pretty much everywhere on discounters for like $50 to $60. Not the case anymore, unfortunately, but it definitely is worth hunting down. Smoky, resinous, rich, silky smooth. One of my favorites for wintertime, one of the best from this line. Next up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. It's got whiskey, chestnut, some iris, of course, a little bit of a general woody accord, cedar wood, a little bit of sandalwood, etc. It's a boozy and gourmand take on the original Eau de Parfum. So that whiskey, chestnut really bring this one to life, and it takes it to the next level in every way possible. This is one of the best in the line to me. It's amazing. Ever since it first came out and I tried it, I've been hooked on this one. I would easily give this a 10 out of 10 rating. I think it is perfect, and if you're looking to get something fantastic for fall and winter time, a little bit out of season for some of us, or you just want a really nice date night, evening out scent that you could theoretically pull off in summertime indoors, this is a great one to check out. Next up, we have PASHA de Cartier Parfum. So this designer brand in particular pretty much always puts out super refined, elegant, classy men's fragrances, and they kind of go against the grain in terms of not going down the traditional, typical rabbit hole of your overly sweet, bubblegummy new style of men's scents. They're kind of breaking through and doing things differently. This one's got sandalwood, liqueur, and balsam fir in here, so it's woody, sweet, boozy, really nice. And again, the key word with this one is elegant. It's refined. It is a masculine scent, and unlike anything else that's being put out in 2023, and I mean that in a good way. Next up, we have Tom Ford Ombre Leather. This is from the Signature line, so their more accessible line. Even though these are still expensive, they just don't go nearly as pricey as the private blends. And so officially, Tom Ford Ombre Leather 16 private blend has been discontinued. It's been replaced with this. And there's also a Parfum version as well. I think in most instances, the EDP holds up and is just fine. You also get these in a 100 ml, whereas most of the private blends came standard as 50s. They do offer hundreds in them and even some big 250 ml flacons, but these are, 100 mils and a better price per mil. So the Signature line is really worth looking into. And if you want a wearable leather scent that isn't going to be too earthy or too strong or off-putting, Ombre Leather simply is one of the best out there on the market. Let's go with Chanel up next. We have Allure Homme Edition Blanche. This one's all about the vanilla, the lemon. There's a little bit of tonka bean in here. It smells like a gourmand lemon dessert, and it kind of has a little bit of a bright citrusy tang from it. So in a way, it kind of is somewhat of a summer scent, but it's more so a summer gourmand is how I look at it. Not going to be your first choice for a 90-degree sunny summer day, humid, but for an evening situation or climate-controlled indoor environment or something along those lines, this is a great choice. And the way I've always kind of looked at this one is, when you start shifting into your summer fragrance wardrobe, it's going to be a lot of citruses, aquatics, and things like that. You start missing some of those sweet fall, wintertime gourmand scents. And this is kind of something that you can put on in the summertime to kind of give you that fix without going back in terms of going deep into your winter scents again. This is a nice little mediary one that you can throw on from time to time to get your gourmand fix. I love it. It's one of my favorites in the Allure Homme line, and it's a must-have. Next up, we have Prada Luna Rossa Black. This one has tonka bean and amber. That's basically all you need to know. Dusty, powdery, creamy, and soft. And again, this is one that kind of is not your typical designer release, and it very much is a different style overall compared to the rest of the Luna Rossa line. I mean, you have everything from something that smells a little bit like Le Male to something that smells a lot like Dior Sauvage, all the way over to something like this, which is nothing like either of the ones I just mentioned there. So the Luna Rossa line really does have something for everybody. And if you want something that focuses heavily on a very nice, dusty, rich tonka bean accord with a little bit of a supplemental amber note, this is amazing. And it's truly one of my favorites in the line. I think this is a masterpiece. It's worth every penny. We're going to go with the cheapie up next. We have Roberto Cavalli UOMO, just the original one here. It's got violet, honey, and I'm sure you could probably guess a little bit of tonka bean. That is a note that shows up all over the place. But this one's unique in the fact that it has a little bit of an ozonic feel from the violet, a little bit of a syrupy sweet honey, and then the tonka bean kind of adding to that honey. It's a very common combination there. So it's unique overall. It's a very it's a very upscale type of scent. This one to me is fantastic, especially when you look at the price point. You know, if this is going for $70, $80 all over the place on discounters, I wouldn't be nearly as excited about it. But when you can get this one for $30, it is so hard to beat. Next up, we have Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This is all about the vanilla and the benzoin. It's really all you need to know. A little bit of ambroxan in there off the top, a little bit of a sparkle, but it goes right into a syrupy sweet vanilla with kind of a powdery, dusty benzoin accord, which is supplemental to that vanilla. This smells amazing. So good. And this is another one where oftentimes it's $45 to $55. You can get testers of this and not have to worry about a cap, obviously, so that's the way to go if you can. You can save more money going that direction. You have to be a fan of vanilla forward scents to like this one. If you aren't, then you're not going to like it. No other way around it. So as long as you like vanilla being at the forefront, this is one that you have to check out, especially at this price point. I mean, it does so much with such a little price. Okay, let's keep it moving with Dolce & Gabbana, the One Luminous Night. Such a good release, and it's a shame that this is one of their exclusive editions because that does make it a little bit hard to get sometimes. This is one that pops up with some sort of regularity on discounters, and so again, each time it does, I send out an email. It does sell quick, but again, if you're on that mailing list, you will be able to get one for yourself at some point. And this one generally floats around the $100 price point. It has dates, a lot of sandalwood, a little bit of a cardamom spiciness, a lot of amber in here as well. So it really doesn't smell as kind of exclusive edition-ish and Middle Eastern smelling as a lot of the others in the line, or more so, I guess, with something like Mysterious Night using the rose and oud. It doesn't go that far. I think this is still a lot more mainstream than you might expect it to be, and I think that's part of the reason why it does so well. You can get Mysterious Night anywhere on discounters. You can't with this one, so I think that might be part of it. If you want a stronger performing, more interesting version of the One, this is one you need to add at some point. Next up, we have actually a brand new release. This one has blown me away, and I still am kind of in shock with how good this actually is. This is truly something different from a designer brand. This is what we all ask for. It's BRIONI Eau de Parfum Essentiel. It's got cardamom, frankincense, patchouli. Man, this is good. A little bit of a unique tomato leaf accord, kind of giving off a green feel along with the patchouli and a little bit of a smoky, resinous frankincense. This is so, so good. Seriously, so impressive. There is a texture about this one that cannot be replicated by anything else that I've smelled in my collection. So unique. And again, this doesn't smell like anything else that I have or that I've tried. It's even completely different than the others in the line, so there's no redundancy there. This is really, really impressive stuff, and easily one of my favorites, if not my favorite, from the BRIONI Eau de Parfum line. And I can't wait for this one to hit discounters and for more people to try it, because it is great stuff. Have to go with an iris scent up next, Valentino Uomo Intense. I could have also put Dior Homme Intense or, you know, Dior Homme Parfum. I already put a gentleman in here, but this is different, you know. It has a lot of leather going along with that iris, some woods, a little bit of a chocolatey feel, so kind of a dustier gourmand style of the sweet iris scents, which is why I like this one a lot. But the leather does also set this one apart, and it gives it a little bit more of a masculine edge and also more of a mass-pleasing edge, believe it or not. It doesn't go too strong on the leather where it smells like a leather scent. They dialed it in just right to where it's a nice supplemental backbone to that smooth, silky, mouth-watering iris. This is amazing stuff. There's a reason why this one caught a lot of hype a few years back. It's kind of died down a little bit since then. People still love it and talk about it, but that big initial hype wave has subsided, but it's still one you need to have in your collection. Okay, we have Ralph Lauren Purple Label up next. Really unique stuff. It kind of smells a little bit like Bleecker Street, but this one did come first, so, you know, I guess that's kind of how that played out. This one actually doesn't have blueberry. Instead, it has blackberry, some coriander, sage, and a whole lot of oak moss. So some similarities there, mostly some sort of berry accord and oak moss are the two main ones tying this and Bleecker together. And again, they are similar somewhat, but they do also have a lot of differences. And if I had to choose a favorite, it probably would be this one. I have both. I purchased both of them. The Bond is still a little bit more expensive, but this one isn't necessarily cheap either. But this is just really good. And I find that the Ralph Lauren is overall more like mature and more elegant and refined. The Bond is very casual, very playful, very kind of carefree smelling. It's great for springtime, but this one has a little bit more of a buttoned up, kind of dressed up appeal to it. Super unique though. I really like it a lot, and I wish I would have added it to my collection sooner. Definitely one that is unlike anything else out there, aside from Bond copying it a little bit and changing it up. But in terms of that, this really stands on its own, and it kind of pioneered a new, different type of DNA here. Okay, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. So this is all about the grapefruit, the violet leaves, and the ozonic notes in here. This and Italian Love are two of the very best works within the entire Light Blue lineup. And I'm telling you guys right now, Light Blue Forever, in my opinion, was truly the saving grace of the Light Blue line. I've said this many times when bringing this one up, but they really peaked with Light Blue Eau Intense. You know, they released the Eau de Toilette. It did amazing. They followed up with Eau Intense. It's a stronger Eau de Parfum. It, you know, stronger, so it has better performance. It's richer. And that one also did very well and still does do very well. So does the original. Everything after that, Italian Zest, Love is Love, all of the limited edition like Swimming in La Piri and Beauty of Capri and all of those, just didn't do as well, and they really were on a decline to the point where I didn't even look for a new light blue release anymore, or look forward to it rather. But this one came out, of course I tried it. It completely changed the whole line. And they also released Italian Love after, which did well. And I've got to say, the new Summer Vibes is also really good. So I do think that they turned everything around and got their act together, starting with this. So this one really is a good one. It's all about the grapefruit. You gotta like grapefruit to like this. A little bit watery from the violet leaves, ozonic and airy, kind of crispy from the ozonic notes. Super unique stuff. It's perfect for summer. Chanel Platinum Egoiste, another classic. And this one kind of has a out of the shower smell, but in an aromatic fougere style, which I think is really unique. It really does smell like one of the most expensive body washes that you can get for dudes. That's what this smells like. So it's soapy, but it's aromatic, lavender, geranium, and all of that good stuff. Some woods going on in here, some citrus off the rip. really, really nice, modern, refreshed version of an aromatic fougere. It's the easiest way to put it. Barbershop scents, oftentimes they smell old, they smell dated, not this. And this has also been out for a while now. And even now in 2023, still smells super modern. I think this DNA is truly timeless, and that's crazy. We'll end this one with Acqua di Gio Profondo. The mineral notes in here, along with the orange, and of course the C notes, is what sets this one apart. That mineral water, unique, textured smell is unlike anything else out there. And so this is going to be another great offering for summertime when it's super hot outside. I'm talking July, August, hot, humid, miserable weather. This one still holds up, and it finds a way to make you feel refreshed and not like you're completely miserable outside in those environments. You know, this one kind of gives you something to look forward to. It cools you down, and people also really love how this one smells. Easily a 10 out of 10. To me, a lot of the Acqua di Gios are just smash hits. Profumo as well, but it is to the point where it's so hard to get, having trouble featuring it in videos now because it's kind of just not fair anymore. This is one you can get everywhere, retail, discount, doesn't matter. You can buy it, and it is a amazing masterpiece. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 15 designer fragrances that I would give a 10 out of 10 rating. Links will be down below, and again, any of these that might be a little bit rare, hard to find, or discontinued right now, if you get on that mailing list at the first link down below, I promise as soon as any of them come into stock, I will send out an email allowing you the opportunity to get them for yourself. And I'm not just talking about these in the video either. Anything. I mean, anything that you might be looking for, anything that is sought after in the fragrance community, it got hype and then it went away. I'm looking for those all the time, and they're showing up, and I'm notifying you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.